Woo! What's going on, guys? Ernest Form coming at you guys today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Detroit Lions again, and I'm going to be talking about TJ Hawkinson again. With the trade, the trade went down yesterday. Giving away Hawkinson 2/4, maybe a possible that 1/4 could turn into a fifth. It's a conditional draft pick. Vikings have to win a playoff game in order for it to turn into a fifth. And we got back a nice second round pick for 2023, then a future third in 2024. Now, people want to say we swapped picks. That's fine. That's what we did. But we moved up in the draft. We positioned ourselves to do some things. Now, this is not about all that. But, I love social media. I go on social media and I love to see reactions and all that stuff. And I love to poke the bear. This is what I do it's just fun to do. Now, I'm not poking a bear, but this is just like, this video might poke some bears though. We did not trade away Rob Gronkowski. We didn't trade away Tony Gonzalez. We didn't trade away Shannon Sharp. We didn't trade away an elite football player. We traded away a good player though. But that's what happens when you're 1-6. Now, I explained that about in my video yesterday. Now, if we're looking at this from a production perspective, which we kind of should be, you know who we actually traded away? Eric Ebron. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because TJ Hawkinson is a better football player than Eric Ebron. But if you look at it from a production perspective, that's exactly who we traded away at the time. Now, Eric Ebron was here for 4 years. Okay? And I'll get into the stats. TJ Hawkinson was here for 3.5. Got traded, obviously, yesterday. So he was a 3.5-year guy here. Didn't get the full 4 years like Ebron did. But if you look at their stats and everything that just laid out for these two, it's eerily similar. Let's go in Eric Ebron. Drafted 10th overall. 56 games, 186 catches, 2,070 yards, 11 touchdowns, 63.2% catch rate, 288 targets, 8 games missed. We all know about Ebron. Brick hands, wasn't the most reliable guy, didn't catch a bunch of touchdowns, never really had any game-changing games, maybe one or two. Nothing big. A total bust out in Detroit. But he did put up some decent numbers. He actually did. Nothing special though. I'm not an Ebron fan. This is not about that. But if you think of those numbers that I just said, 56 games, 186 catches, 2,070 yards, 11 touchdowns, 63.2% catch rate, 288 targets in Detroit for 4 years, 8 games missed. You go to Hawkinson's now, drafted 8th overall, okay? 3.5 years. 47 games he played. 86 catches. 186 catches, exactly the same as Ebron. 2,068, 2 yards less than Ebron. 15 touchdowns, 4 more touchdowns than Ebron. 63.3% catch percentage rate. A 0.1% better difference. 287 targets. 1 target less than Eric Ebron. And 9 games missed. So, and I am not saying that Eric Ebron was a better tight end than TJ Hawkinson. I'm just looking at it from a production standpoint. From a production view. Got the binoculars on and I'm looking at it. They are exactly the same. So, this is my whole point of my video. We did not get rid of Rob Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. We didn't get rid of those guys. We didn't get rid of that of TJ Hawkinson, comparing them to them. If you want to look at a production view. Hawkinson and Ebron pretty much averaged 40 plus catches a year, 500 plus yards a year, and 2 to 4 touchdowns a year. That's what they averaged. That's the reality of it. You see everybody on social media absolutely losing their minds. Majority of this fan base saying how dumb the organization is. How stupid their organization. And listen, I'm not a homer, but this wasn't a bad trade. This was not a bad trade. We were not going to get top flight picks for TJ Hawkinson. We got a second round pick and a future third. Be happy with that. And we can sit here, we can talk about how he was underutilized. He wasn't used properly, blah, 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 blah. It's Goff's fault. It's Jared Goff's fault. It's Ben Johnson's fault. It's Matthew Stafford's fault. It's this guy's fault. It's everybody else's fault except for the said player that was drafted. It's the same song and dance from this fan base year in, year out. I get that we're all frustrated here. Everybody wanted more for Hawkinson, but it's not a reality. And this is not, I am not comparing the two players. I think Hawkinson was a better football player. But at the time that Hawkinson was traded away, they had the exact same stats, which is insane to me. I never really knew that. I saw some people on social media saying, we basically traded away Eric Ebron. They had the same numbers. So I'm like, I got to go look at this. I got to go see what that number was. And thanks to social media, because they give me a lot of ideas for videos. And I think this was a spot-on video to do. Now, obviously, Hawk's numbers would have been way greater. Like I said, way much better if he would have been here for the remainder of the year, the 10 games, whatever it is that's left. He would have been much better. I get that. But at the time, we have to look at what you have to look at when you're in the now. That's the problem with this fan base too. They don't look at things that are now. They look at things that are, well, it could have been this. If he would have stuck around, he would have done that. Well, that's not a reality. Okay, that's a what if. Screw what ifs. I don't want to hear what if. At the time of this trade, those are the numbers. Ebron and Hawk were exactly the same production. Not the same player, but the same production. We got a second and a future third, moved up into the draft, positioned ourselves to either go after a quarterback, either go after a defensive player, whatever this team wants to do, they've positioned themselves to do that now. 4 or 5 picks in the next year's top 100 picks. That's good management. Now he just has to hit on the picks. Okay, now it's all about hitting on the picks. But Holmes has positioned themselves to do this. Getting good draft capital for a guy that was not a great football player, but a good football player. He was good. And we could talk about all kinds of things on why he didn't produce here. But whatever. He only averaged, like I said, 40 plus catches, 500 plus yards a year, and like 2 to 4 touchdowns. So let's not sit there and cry about we just traded away Gronkowski or Tony Gonzalez or Shannon Sharp. We didn't. That's the reality of it. That's the problem with this fan base. They get too much into their feels about players. Hawk was a good player here. He didn't run his mouth. He didn't go on social media like Ebron did. He didn't complain. He didn't cry. He just didn't do that type of stuff. He was a professional. Ebron was a douchebag. I get it. But if you want to look at numbers, those are the numbers. And you can't debate them. You can't. It's impossible to debate them. You just can't. Okay? So that's it, man. We got a pretty good haul back for him. The giveaway to get a little back because Minnesota's eaten all that contract. I don't think we're getting any dead cap because of this, because we traded him after June. I don't think we're getting a dead cap. I could be wrong though, but I don't think we're getting a dead cap, and we're gaining money this year, like $500,000 or something like that, and then gaining another $10 million, I believe, next year. It might even be more. It might even be more. I think it comes out to 10 to 13 million, whatever it comes out to. We're not getting hit on a cap. It's a smart move by a guy that is not worth $15 million. He's not worth that type of money. So we got to get out of our feelings about it. That's it, guys. That's the video. I had to kind of explain it. I know that I'm not going to get people that aren't going to agree with me. That's fine. Let's debate about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. But thanks for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bells. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Talk about it, man. Talk about it. TJ Hawkinson, you're getting the same production you got from Eric Ebron. That's a fact. Thanks, guys. Go Lions. One pride. Boom.